Alright, so I wanted to make one more video about what's going on and my thoughts about everything that's happening, and I think it's all coming to pass, to be honest, and there isn't anything secret that won't be made known. So, and God knows all of our hearts. He knows all of our sins, and He knows our desires as well, and He wants to give us the best life possible. So anyone who is not a believer, I pray that you come to know Him, because narrow is the way and straight is the gate to salvation, and few there be that find it, and broad is the way to destruction, and many there be that go thereby. So God doesn't want anyone to perish, and He knows all things. He's a knower of all things, and that is a little overwhelming sometimes when you're living in a flesh-based world where you have your ego and you have to worry about finances and so many things in life and relationships and expectations of your parents or guardians, and it leaves little space for getting to know God. So I just pray that everyone's that's watching seeks the narrow way. And when you feel overwhelmed sometimes, or like you're not close to nature, for me, I feel like I get closer to God and nature and the animals. And I like to think that God, He's in everything anyways, but some of us just need to recharge, and we need to get back to center. And that's really important for Christians. Of course, you read and you study and you pray to find yourself approved on the last day. But as far as taking care of yourself, self-maintenance is important. And, as long as you're following God, no matter where you go in life, you have to realize that He's got you. He's got your back, No matter what man does or says, just believe that God is always there, and He's going to see you through whatever is going on in your life personally. So, yeah, I just want to take some time to collect, and even if it means being alone, then that's what is necessary. That's what I have to do to find where I need to be at. And you look around, and I just want to show that right here the river has dried up, and it kind of gives this forlorn feeling, like there used to be water here. I was just at a bench, and it said rest by marble waters, and I'm just thinking there's no waters here, and yet all these trees are still alive in the desert, but I think it shows, like, it's kind of reflective of what's going on in the world right now, that there's only, we go to no other source of life but by God, So no matter what's going on in the world, you have to remember, like, your river can dry up, and there's a drought, or there can be a flood. I think that's all a part of God's judgment, and a lot of it's what's coming on America right now. And it has to happen. I feel like it has to happen, and a lot of people don't really understand, and that there's also a lot of the corruption is being exposed, within the state and State Department and all that. So, and it's not just on the right, so it's the left is just as corrupt, obviously, and all these people that want to be politically divided and conquered by their polarized thinking, they have to realize, they have to wake up and realize that they're being, deceived into this left-right paradigm where America is no longer strong with, the blue and the red. It's working against itself to undo itself, and people just don't get how that's happening. So you have to kind of stand in who you are and who you are in God, spiritually, and realize that everything else that's going on, no matter how crazy or how hopeless it feels and let down you might feel, you have to remember that this is all just for a season. This is just a vapor that goes by so quickly. And so do you want to live for a few seasons where you get worldly gain and all these nice things in the world, or do you want to give up a lot of these things and carry your cross, and deny yourself, deny the flesh? Obviously, you can't do it at the expense of your sanity. You need to take care of yourself, and you need to, be in touch with God. You can't just. I mean, that's what the narrow way is. It's like you're kind of balancing. It's so narrow sometimes that you have to realize you're like on a tripwire and you could fall. But like I said, God's got your back. As long as you stay in Him, you've got nothing to fear. But I feel like for a lot of believers is that things are getting. You have to be more careful. This grace period that was really big, I think it started around the 70s or 80s, and there's a window that God has kind of allowed for people for this revival to start up. And He's pouring out His Spirit, as it talks about in Acts. And a lot of people are either falling away or coming back. So are you falling away with the strong delusion that's coming upon the world and all these things that are talked about in Revelation and 2 Timothy, where people are lovers of their themselves and they're narcissistic and they're just lost? Or are you coming back to who you are? Are you centering? Are you finding solidarity and seeking God out every morning and evening in prayer? Praying constantly, like it says in the Bible, because you just don't get the world and what it's doing anymore. So that's really important in these last times, because I think a lot of people are struggling out there. So something to think about.